la lección pasada, contamos la historia de cómo Antonio y yo nos conocimos en la prepa y nos enamoramos.
¿Se acuerdan? Veamos un fragmento.
In 1972, Jimena went to the zoo. Then she enjoyed the movie. Later, she met Antonio at the movies. After that, Antonio had to work at the department store. That night, he fell asleep while studying.
Hoy vamos a ver que se trata, como su nombre lo indica, de algo más simple de lo que se imaginan.
Unit 5, Lesson 9. The Legend of Two Volcanoes. Identificarán que el pasado simple utiliza la misma conjugación del verbo para todos los sustantivos. Well, Rebels, our time is over for today. Don't forget, we are looking for stories from your town or memories you would like to share with us. Send us your stories. Now, we'll listen to one last song.
A story from our town? Well, I have one they will like. I will write it down now. How should I begin? Let me see. Okay. I live in Chalco, near Mexico City. I live in Mexico City. When I was a child, I lived in Chalco. My family lived here, but not my father. He lived in Puebla. He worked there. My friends and I like to play outside. I like to leave the house in the morning. From the house, you can see the two volcanoes, the Iztaccíhuatl and the Popocatépetl. I learned the legends of the two volcanoes when I was little, and I could see those volcanoes every morning. They look so beautiful at sunrise. I looked at them for a long time. Then I walked to school. My friends and I walked together. We walked on the grass and between the trees. It was very cold. In winter, there was snow everywhere. It was really nice to live here, but now everything is different. It all changed very slowly. First, there were new houses. Then, they constructed a big factory nearby. A lot of cars started to appear in the streets. Before long, the city was here. My mother talked about the city when I was a child. Everyone talked about how big it was. But now we are part of the city. We live in the city. The city started to grow fast.
So, Rebels, did you like the song? We liked it a lot. How about you, Peque? Did you like it?
I like it a lot!
Perfect! Now, we're going to a break.
Guess what, girls? We received a great story. It's from a guy named Gonzalo. He lived in Chalco when he was a child. He says the place where he lived is very different now. He tells the story of how it changed. Maybe we could invite all the rebels to tell a story like that.
Yes, all the towns and cities are very different now from 15 years ago. I'm sure everyone has a good story about that.
Will you read that story to us later on, Hero?
Of course! But now, we have to get back on the air. All right! Here we are again! Sarasvati, Crystal and I want to invite all of you rebels to do something special. You know we are always looking for stories about our listeners.
This time, we would like you to tell us stories about the place where you live.
Right! We especially want to know, is the place where you live different from what it was when you were 6 or 7 years old? Do you think it looked different some years ago?
Tell us about it! You know, Antonio, Hero received a great story.
Yes?
Well, we received it at Radio Rebelde.
Right! It's about a boy who lives in Chalco. And he watched the changes that happened every year.
It sounds good.
Yes, it's a great story.
Do you have a story like that, Antonio?
Sure. Here. Tlacotalpan is an example. It looks very different. When Jimena and I came here 36 years ago, for example, if we wanted to visit our friends, we walked a lot. We enjoyed picnics, and we didn't have to run away from the cars. It was very quiet.
That sounds boring.
Don't say that, Peque. Those were good times too.
Well, maybe she's right, Sarah. There are more things to do nowadays.
Those were different times. It's true. There must be stories like that everywhere.
Tomorrow we'll hear some of them.
Welcome back, rebels! Remember yesterday we invited you to tell us about your town?
All of our towns and cities are different now.
Here is one of the stories. Carlos is from a very small town in Zacatecas. He lived there for years. But one day, they constructed a highway passing the town. People started to buy land by the side of the highway. The town grew. They opened small restaurants and some stores. All the adults worked there, and the children helped them or played while their parents worked.
Thank you, Peque. I suppose that happened to a lot of other towns. What do you think, Sara?
I listened to the story and I remembered how Tlacotalpan changed. Maybe all the rebels who listened to it remembered the stories of their own towns.
So, Sara, do you have a story for us?
I have one, Hero. Let me read it. Mariana is from Colima. 20 years ago, she lived there with her parents. Their house was the only one on the beach. First, some tourists came and visited the beach. They liked to sleep in tents. Then, more people started to come, but not too many. Mariana and her family were careful. They tried to keep everything in order. They didn't want to have new buildings around. They wanted to keep things simple. Now, Colima receives a lot of tourists every year.
Well, that's a different kind of story, Sara. A happy one, because change is not always bad. Cristal and I liked it.
I like it also, Hero.
I think that's all we have time for today. Thanks for listening, rebels!
Yes! Thanks a lot! We'll be back on the air again soon!
Until then, keep on sending us your stories.
Goodbye! Have fun!
¿Les gustaron las historias? Vayamos al tema de hoy. Veamos. En español, el verbo jugar en pasado se conjuga de la siguiente manera. Yo jugué. Tú jugaste. Él jugó. Ella jugó. Nosotros jugamos. Ustedes jugaron. Ellos jugaron. En inglés, conjugar un verbo en pasado simple es en verdad muy sencillo. Primero, recordarás que los pronombres personales son I, you, he, she, it, we, you y they, y sustituyen a cualquier sustantivo. Conjuguemos en inglés el verbo jugar en pasado simple. I played, you played, he played, she played, it played, we played, you played, and they played. ¿Qué observas? Así es. En inglés los verbos en pasado simple se conjugan igual para todos los pronombres personales, no importa si se trata de un verbo regular o de uno irregular. Veamos otro ejemplo. Conjuguemos el verbo eat en pasado simple, que significa comer y es un verbo irregular.
Ahora, tomemos un momento para platicar lo que vimos hoy. Se trata de tomar las frases que diremos a continuación y reescribirlas, con el mismo sujeto y el verbo en pasado.
Después, cambiarlas al pronombre que se indica. Primero, un ejemplo.
We play outside the house.
El mismo enunciado, en simple past, sería:
We played outside the house.
Ahora, ese mismo enunciado en pasado simple, pero con la tercera persona del plural, que es they, sería:
They played outside the house.
Ahora, es turno de ustedes. El enunciado que convertiríamos a simple past es:
I like to live there.
¿Cómo quedaría el enunciado en pasado simple?
I liked to live there.
Y ese mismo enunciado, en pasado simple y en la segunda persona, que es you, ¿cómo sería?
You liked to live there.
¡Muy bien! Vamos a hacer uno más, partiendo de la frase:
They work in a supermarket.
¿cuál sería ese mismo enunciado en pasado simple?
They worked in a supermarket.
¡Muy bien! ¿Y si escribiéramos ese mismo enunciado en pasado simple, pero en la primera persona del singular, que es I?
I worked in a supermarket.
¿No les dije? El simple past es en verdad muy simple.
Lo mejor es esto. No importa el pronombre o el sujeto. El verbo siempre se conjuga igual en enunciados afirmativos.
Así que recuerden, aunque se trate de I, you, he, she, it, we o they, la conjugación permanece sin cambios en su forma afirmativa en pasado simple.
Por hoy es todo. Ya nos veremos pronto.
¡Hasta luego!